I'm just going live from the current location. Okay to leave the device physically positioned as such. So a few topics to discuss. One topic would be playground politics. Another topic could be ethics, code of conduct, and code of ethics. The topics associated with ownership and the topics associated with why is stealing such a problem. So one of the challenges associated with our real-time situation and the topics of how apathy and then the deviation of how apathy and sympathy still don't cancel out ethics and ownership, and the snide, smug, pugnacious nature, personality, characteristics, attributes, and criminology, the criminal profile, in addition to personality profiles, arguably personality disorders, and what's thriving, what's failure to thrive, and then covert, overt obstruction to the truth, and large scale, the magnitude and obstruction of white collar and blue collar crime, and how there's a deviation from trafficking and the concept of an ongoing war, decades that just never stopped. So if historians looked at World War II, World War I, World War II, and the ancient history of the later history of trade, merchantship, and canals, I suppose the physical before cyber standards of monetary value and the segues and correlations to physical safety, security, and border control policies and procedures and taxation, so like the Boston Tea Party and all that. Why is monetization, that's another topic, so important? And the standard and prognosis of quality of life and the deviations in correlation to constitutional rights that are to be completely separate from this concept of freedom of choice that's based in some sort of set of rules for a voluntary congregation of people that choose to voluntarily share space for a collective experience of reflection in a way that they are and aren't beyond reproach. And there has to be a standard of conduct to be able to continually be permitted. The not-for-profit, for-profit, donation-based, for those kinds of communal spaces, and the dangers associated with predatory behaviors, reprieve and respite, the topic of respite, and the economics and behavioral economics of that, so quality of life and prognosis. Our intellectual, they're just some, we're cautiously approaching a very poignant, necessary topic conversation where elaboration is necessary. Elaboration is not necessary to unnecessarily explain or defend ourselves or our boundaries. Elaboration is necessary to bring all the impositions of injustice to account, to bring justice to the forefront of not a negotiation of boundaries, but the learning curve of inadequate, right? So some people are defective and deficient, or they're just different, and different doesn't have to mean defective or deficient. There's nothing wrong with the capacity to comprehend perspective of strengths and opportunities for growth, and what that means for an individual as far as trajectory and prognosis for financing a standard of living, a quality of life. So back to what's a war zone, what's not a war zone, and the secrecy and hypocrisy and outright just cruel nature of trying to trick, to deceive, mislead, and blatantly lie to people, and then coercion and manipulation to create conflict among strangers in the most snide, smug, and repugnant and indignant of ways as people try and force their filth on people and smother and oppress people. So we discuss choice by informed consent or by default, and how some people aren't inherently intrinsically defeated before they have a choice or a chance, but environment, your nature and your nurture, if someone's committed to hurting you, there's nothing that you can do. And if an individual is in a situation where one person or many people are committed to hurting them and they're brought into existence in that place, they can't know unless someone brings that to their attention, right? So this is just, our biological family is in like a very different category of evaluation, assessment, investigation. The formality of process of evaluation, assessment, investigation, and innocent until proven guilty for our biological family members means something very, very different. That's a different concept for our biological family members, for example, our older brothers and dads, than really pretty much anybody else. And even Carolyn is in that category. So when people are sneaking around and stealing, the grievances associated with just send a contract, you can still be part of a venture, right? And just realize you're in a different part of the continuum of being able to participate. This is not a free-for-all, so we want to be very cautious about the vocabulary words that we're using to discuss just the severity of damage, how devastating this is. So pompous, boastful, proud, arrogant, pretentious, presumptuous, overbearing, conceited. Yeah, I suppose the topic of the vocabulary word unfair is really, this is a really relevant topic for reasons that what does disservice mean? And when people are capable, have capacity that would benefit many people regardless of whatever goals they really don't ever set for themselves. I mean, this is worse than inexcusable, inequitable, unwarranted, improper, immoral. It's kind of unlawful, crooked, shameless, petty, uncalled for. We try to stay away from words like wicked and evil because that could be so subjective, and we don't know that people really understand that evil is not even really the letters spell the word. There's some sort of biased, cruel, discriminatory, unethical, dishonest, illegal, immoral, improper. These are the synonyms for unfair. Unprincipled, ungrateful, unscrupulous, unsporting, vicious, vile, wicked, foul, iniquitous, injurious, low, mean, partial, petty, shameless, uncalled for, dishonorable. That's kind of like where this conversation goes. That why is dishonorable? And this is not my reflection. I do need to stay connected through this process. I need to be able to see myself. So if I don't know if my husband, brothers, and parents necessarily want me to take on that topic right now. We're kind of treading in this space of we have to make the best choice. We haven't edited any of our archives yet, but this is not what I look like. So some people that have blue eyes. Some people that have blue eyes in certain photographs, that their eyes are blue may not be obvious, but that's not what's going on here, right? So, and while with filters, which are our technology, my skin tone should look like this, right? So that's very different. That's my skin tone, like very white pink, well, like porcelain, the kind of ivory on the tusk. You think of porcelain, antique porcelain, fine cookware, plating, and like teapots and stuff like that. That's like, so I don't look like I have rosacea, or like chapped rosacea kind of skin. No, and nobody in our family, if that's important to mention. So for right now, my understanding is that our family is, when I see what I really look like, this is only going to get that much more horrific. And as we have discussed, like, people that might see me in plain sight could faint or panic if they realize, like, the voice associated with whoever's archiving is not actually this physical appearance. So, just one step at a time, but just to notate, that's not what's going on here. Like, there's nothing, as far as optimizing space and the lighting of space, we are always for that, even if we're at a ski lodge versus we never go for a sterile lab. So that's where we're going to see that. We don't know if people understand what laser cut means as far as the prism effect. And some people choose different kinds of lights for like a space and a physical structure. And that's that for now. We won't really discuss that any further. But so the exhaustion and fatigue of, we don't want to continue. As far as the topic of ransomware, these archives are for me and my husband and our family. We're not appeasing a situation. We're not prolonging a situation unnecessarily. We have tried to orchestrate interventions, and hypothetically, the vocabulary word interception has been a problem. So we've never signed over any of what we own, ever. And that's never happened. I don't know if what's more problematic is the disconnect from me and my husband to our parents, and then where our older brothers are with the topic of conversation with our parents. And then I don't know if some of the older brothers have grievances with some of the older brothers. We don't know. And I don't know if they would try to shelter us from that. The way we've discussed this is that we understand that people have the right to earn money, but and we would never get in the way of that. But in our family, because of we understand the best that we're able to. Like me and husband understand, and some of our older brothers, like our oldest brother, our first 10 brothers, Carolyn's first 10 children are kind of in like an extremely different category where however many years apart they are from like the next 30 to 50 brothers, there's a spectrum, right? Everyone's kind of, I don't know how to describe that, but we just don't know how bad got and what maybe some of the brothers did or didn't consider before they knew where they were really from. So, but then the ethics of whether or not they gave up on life, I don't know how we're gauging that, and then how that's compromised us. So that kind of accountability in our sibling group is they can't really escape that, and we don't really know. We just need as much information as possible. So, but then like our parents, siblings usually do always kind of confer with each other first, sometimes before their parents, but it seems that the parents kind of have to, some of the siblings and some of the parents have to like kind of take the lead, if that's the right way to see that. Well, my husband is our traditional gender roles. So we understand that our parents and our brothers don't expect us to be, they expect us to be at home together. So I wonder how we're all processing this information. And how to efficiently expedite what we don't have to negotiate. That's right. I wonder if husband and our brothers, are better able to articulate the grievances. And so that's all. And it seems that there are more topics to discuss. But because of whatever they're trying to do pharmacologically, so we've been through this many times. This is helpful, this is not helpful, we don't want to promote a problem. But I can't see myself anywhere. And that is really petty, to be honest. And this is something that could just be fixed, right? So they've taken every accurate photo of me. They took everything. I don't know if me and my husband shares. I don't know. So this is like unacceptable. One second. So as far as like the additional topics of why this is so just horrible, some people have not actually gotten the test scores that they need to have to be at the Ivy League universities, and then they're encouraged to behave a certain way that kind of damages the integrity of the what the university represents. So, am I allowed? this is a major, major problem. The topic of skit sellers. So we need timelines for when to expect a change, and this is an as far as being able to see myself accurately. This has been an ongoing grievance and irritation. This is really simple. This is not something, every window pane, anywhere and everywhere I go, I cannot see myself. There's no point in even taking a picture, to be honest. So like, this is really not necessary. This is not helpful. There's no security clearance that relies on this, right? So if people still wanted to illegally photograph me, they could, right? That's the problem. We need to accurately document in real time. This is just very, very, very annoying.